It was one of those Sunday mornings that felt like a gift, the kind that rolls in gently and makes you think maybe, just maybe, the world has decided to be kind for a while. The sun hung low and generous, casting soft golden light across the cul-de-sac. Birds bickered high in the oaks, the hiss of lawn sprinklers played like an old sitcom laugh track, and our backyard smoker puffed hickory like a promise. Today was going to be a good day. That was the lie. I was in the kitchen, shaping burger patties with one hand and swaying slightly to Johnny Cash crackling through the radio with the other. The smell of coffee drifted from the pot, mixing with the spice rub I'd worked into the meat. Everything felt easy, clean, and right. Out front, our 5-year-old son, Logan, was sprawled across the driveway, tongue poking out of the side of his mouth in the way he did when he was completely focused. A piece of neon green chalk was clutched in his little fingers as he worked diligently on his latest masterpiece, a velociraptor with jagged teeth and a tail that looped like a comma. Upstairs, my wife, Elena, was finally enjoying a bit of peace. After 20 years in the army, most of them behind the scope as a sniper, she'd earned every second of quiet she could find. She was sitting on the bedroom chair with a mug of Earl Grey in one hand and a worn-out Thriller in the other. I had just stepped back from the counter to grab more foil when it happened. The SUV turned the corner. Black. Sleek. No plates. Tinted windows so dark they seemed to drink the sunlight. It rolled down the street like it owned the road, engine humming low and mean. Something about it made the hair on my arms stand straight up. It came to a deliberate stop at the edge of our driveway. 2 men stepped out. They were tall, broad, both wearing black tactical vests that read HOA enforcement in bold white letters. The letters looked new, like they hadn't even been through a wash. No badges. No city logos. No signs that these men were anything more than 2 guys playing dress-up. They didn't nod. Didn't wave. Didn't smile. They just stared. The first one, built like a bulldozer, marched straight toward Logan, boots slamming the concrete like he had something to prove. "Step away from the property," he barked, voice hard and sharp like a cracked whip. Logan's hand froze mid-dinosaur. The green chalk slipped out of his fingers and bounced on the concrete. He blinked up at the man, not scared yet, just confused. The second guy moved slower, more methodical. His eyes scanned the porch, the windows, his hand hovering over his belt like he was thinking about pulling something. It wasn't a threat, not quite, but it was close enough. I stepped out of the garage, spatula still in my hand. What the hell is going on here? No answer. Just more shouting. "Get that kid off the driveway. That's HOA property. Vandalism's a violation." I blinked. Vandalism? He's 5. It's a dinosaur. Unauthorized markings. The bulldozer snapped. Graffiti. Logan's shoulders started to shake. His little hands reached for his chalk like it was a safety blanket. His eyes filled with tears. Rage coiled in my chest. Thick and hot. "You don't get to talk to my kid like that," I said, stepping forward. Still nothing from them. Just cold, expressionless eyes. Like they were running some script. Like they weren't even human. And then, a voice came down from above. Calm. Controlled. Cold as surgical steel. Target acquired. Advised. Stepping back. I looked up. Elena stood in the bedroom window, half open, wearing that same quiet intensity I'd seen in Fallujah. Her left eye was pressed to the scope of her matte black rifle. The barrel rested silently on the window frame. Her voice came again, sharper this time. "That's not a laser pointer." A tiny red dot appeared on the forehead of the man nearest Logan. The bulldozer froze. The second man flinched. His fingers brushed the strap of his vest, maybe going for a radio. Maybe worse. "Don't," Elena said. And he didn't. I dropped to one knee next to Logan, pulling him in. "It's okay, buddy. Stay with me." He buried his face in my shoulder, trembling. I stood again, shielding him, eyes locked on the 2 men. "You've got 10 seconds to leave," I said, voice low and steady. "You're not cops. You've got no authority here. You're trespassing. You're harassing a child. And you're being watched by a trained sniper." The leader's mouth opened like he wanted to say something. "We're acting under HOA. HOA is not a badge," I snapped. This is criminal." Elena's voice rang out one last time. "I don't miss. I don't bluff." The birds had stopped chirping. The sprinklers had gone quiet. The only sound was the steady hum of the SUV's engine and the buzz of adrenaline in my ears. The bulldozer was sweating now, thick beads rolling down his temple. His partner stepped back, inching toward the SUV, and that's when he made the wrong move. His hand darted into his vest. There was a sharp crack. Not loud, not violent, just final. The SUV's passenger side mirror exploded into shrapnel. Glass. Chrome. Gone. The man stumbled. Hands shot into the air. Eyes wide. He wasn't hit. That was the point. Elena didn't miss. That was a warning. The bulldozer's spine folded. His whole body sagged. His partner hit the ground, hands behind his head like he was begging. Old Man Ben, from across the street, stepped out with his phone recording. "You good?" he hollered. I didn't answer. Just kept my eyes on the men. "Lie flat," Elena ordered. "Hands out. Palms up." They obeyed. No fight left in them. Logan whispered into my chest. "Is Mommy mad?" I shook my head. "No, buddy. She's just serious." And then I noticed the inside of the SUV. The back doors were open. Engine still running. No official HOA markings. No logbooks. But what there was. A laptop stand. A tablet. A box of zip ties, military grade, not hardware store junk. A neighbor across the street yelled, "You want me to call the cops?" "Already done," Elena called back. I triggered my silent alarm the second I heard them shouting. Sirens wailed close. A squad car screeched into view. Lights on. Sirens cut. Officers spilled out, weapons low but ready. They paused, took in the scene. 2 men flat on the ground. A shattered SUV mirror. A woman in a second-story window holding a rifle. One of them looked up at Elena. "That your wife?" "Yeah," I said, still holding Logan. "She's a hell of a shot." More cars arrived. Red and blue lights danced across the neighbors' windows. Phones up. Some folks recording. Some live streaming. Officers swarmed the SUV. "Whoa," one officer said, opening the back hatch. "You're gonna want to see this." Inside, zip ties, duct tape, burner phones. Dozens of fake HOA citations. A map of our neighborhood with addresses circled. Our house had a red star. Next to it, child. 10:15 a.m. Usually alone. My stomach turned. They weren't HOA. They were predators. Using fake authority. Scouting homes. Extorting families. Or worse. An officer muttered under his breath. "You weren't their first target." Turns out they'd hit 3 counties. Always the same trick: tactical vests, fake citations, intimidation. Targeting homes with single parents, elderly residents, kids outside alone. But they picked the wrong house this time. Elena came downstairs finally, calm as you please, in yoga pants and a tank top. Hair pulled back. Her rifle now slung and locked. She approached the officers, not one flinch in her step. "You clear?" she asked. "For now," I replied. She knelt by Logan. "You okay, sweetheart?" He nodded. "You shot the car." She smiled. "Just the mirror. Bad guys need to see themselves." He giggled. The 2 men were cuffed, trembling. One of them crying openly now. The media arrived fast. Ben's video had already gone viral. By nightfall, it was everywhere. Crime blogs. Reddit. Facebook groups. One user slowed the footage of the mirror shattering, posted it with the caption, "Chalk dinosaurs." Red dot justice. Within days, the men were identified. Career scammers. Outstanding warrants across multiple states. Their SUV was a mobile hub for targeting and manipulating vulnerable families. The mayor issued a statement. The police chief visited us in person. "She could have ended them," he said. "Instead, she protected her son." That's not force. That's control. The trial came fast. Footage played in court. Elena's voice. Her calm. The warning shot. The jury didn't take long. Guilty. Impersonation. Attempted abduction. Fraud. Conspiracy. 22 years. Each. The judge said you weren't stopped by force. You were undone by clarity. A month later, a local artist painted a mural at the community park. A giant, chalk-colored Velociraptor Logan's design towered over a crushed black SUV. Above it read, "Protected by precision." Elena's silhouette was in the top window. The faint red dot still glowing. Logan calls it Mom's Lookout. Elena never wanted the attention. But when a local veterans group asked her to speak, she did. "Real authority doesn't scream," she told the crowd. It watches, prepares, and when necessary, it acts. Be the one who sees first. Life is quieter now. The grill still fires up on Sundays. Logan's chalk box has twice the colors. Elena's rifle stays locked, cleaned, oiled, and ready. The neighborhood's different now, too. Security cameras on every porch. Real HOA reps. Real IDs. Real respect. And Logan? He tells the story his way. He says the velociraptor saved the day. Elena doesn't correct him. She just smiles. Some heroes don't need credit. They just need their family safe.